Hey guys, it is Mark Coe for the 6th of August. Like doing this, kind of showing you intra-trade so everybody can see what's going on. So I have some crude oil, and I just want to point it out. I'm long a couple contracts of crude, September crude right here, and you can see them long from an entry price of '07. So I just want to show everybody kind of in real time. I think it's beneficial to be able to look at it in real time and see what's going on. But more importantly, like the thought process that goes into this trade, and I just want to kind of walk through it a little bit. So here I have crude oil and kind of look at the thoughts this morning. Well, the thought process works like this. Crude is pretty range bound. It's fairly tight, fairly range bound. But what I'm looking at was the activity over the end of last week into Thursday and Friday. Right? I'm looking at this activity up here near the top and this kind of top edge resistance that worked from Thursday to Friday. So if you think about what happened today, this resistance capped by about 36 gets through early this morning, early European hours this morning, and is now clear of that resistance. So the way I'm viewing this in the short term is just a bit of a pullback. And so kind of walking down, I always like to take big picture charts on down. So I start, this morning with kind of a day trading look, shorter term, 2 hour, 4 hour, and I'll work it down to 5 and 10 minute charts. And the idea is not that one chart is superior to another. It's just that I want to get a different look on time frames. And so to take this into focus now, this is the breakout area from last Thursday and Friday, right? Those were the tops contained, and it breaks out. So now I'm viewing this as a pullback. So what I want to look at in terms of support is I want to look and say, okay, if this was the initiation of that buying, right, 85 to 96, this initiated that buying early this morning to drive it through the resistance. What do the buyers do on a visit back to it, right? That's what I'm looking at. What are the buyers doing on the visit back to it? So all this is known to me well in advance, right? I don't walk into this and look at it at 9:30 or 10 in the morning and say, oh, this is brand new. No, you know this from days of work. So you knew last week that those top edges of resistance were into that 69.36 area. So again, all I'm doing is getting a focus on these edges in the short term and saying, okay, if buyers are going to hold this level, right, this is where they accelerated it away from. This is where they accelerated it away from. This was the visit back down into it. I simply put on a long here, and I use a couple things to put on a long. You guys can see the little counts I'm using. They're very similar to a TD DeMark indicator, but it's a little variation. So first off and foremost, I use the levels to work from. And so my longs are initiated just above that. You can see my longs are from '07. And what I'm looking for initially in this target is a move back up to the halves. I'm looking for a move back up to the halves. I've been able to work it back down to break even at this stage of the game, and we'll see if it's able to survive. I could play with this a little. I may work it down to 4 or 5, end up with a few ticks of risk. What I'm trying to do is give it room as it's floundering in and around here and look for the acceleration higher. That's really what I'm looking for. So, I'll be patient with it, but I'll certainly want to protect it if I can start to get back above the 20. So right now it's what, 10:20 in the morning, so you can see we're bid 69.10, we're 10.11, 7.8. Ultimately you're looking for some type of a reaction to be able to move it higher, and I'm just playing in and around a couple ticks here, and very likely that we could come back down and stop yourself out, but also you're giving yourself a chance for that rotation back up to the half. So again, it's 10:20 here on the East Coast. We'll have to see if this survives. Right now, you've just seen me move it. I've gone from 7 to 1. My initial risk was about 20, so I've tightened it to about 6 ticks. And what I'm trying to do is stay alive in this, and kind of a good little example of what a pullback looks like. I'm pretty fluid with it as long as I'm maintaining my overall risk. So my initial risk was no more than 20 cents on the trade. I was able to tighten that up, but as I started recording the video, we start pulling back on me a little. I'm just trying to maintain this long and give it a shot in here, all the while giving myself the upside opportunity. So right there, I think we just went 04s, 03s, 03 or 04. So I got really close. I'm sitting 01s right now, so we can give it a minute. Kind of see what the rotation looks like. Again, we'd really want to get above 38 on the bid side to get a shot up at those halves. So, if you look at it from a standpoint of what am I risking? Well, initially I started risking As I said, just under 20 ticks, so just under $200. Looking for a 400 at a minimum. At a minimum, I was looking for about a $430 rotation. So far, I have not achieved it. The best I got, I think, was 30s. 31 was the best we've gotten so far. So anyway, that's me on a Monday working this crude oil. Decent little rotation in the E-minis off of some short-term bottom edge. Not a massive amount of short-term opportunities here. Just kind of continuing to play the range, and right now crude is very happy playing between 69 and the halves, and so I have some involvement toward the bottom part of that. You can see I'm long at 07s, and ultimately looking for a rotation back up to at a minimum the half. Would like to see better than the halves, but right now would be content with the halves. So for a Monday, we'll let this play out and see how we work, and I'll visit with you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.